I'm going to end.
You are trying to deflect.
Because I eat a Muller yogurt. This makes me evil. I am happy to be evil.
That said that if that Hunter Biden laptop story
have any arguments against that right now, and I want to see how it goes.
Welcome back to Piers Morgan Uncensored. We all know Muller yogurts, these creamy treats with crunchy or fruity bits in your corner. Other equally delicious brands are available, but apparently all yogurts are evil. A vegan charity has released an ad about them that will give you nightmares. A warning, you might find this disturbing.
New from Killer Yogurts.
Killer yogurt.
The umbilical cord flavor.
What?
Produced with only the finest ingredients. The stolen milk of grieving mothers.
Oh my God.
Taste the torment in every mouthful.
Oh my God.
No, come on.
Blended with brutality. Be complicit.
What?
Sorry, this is funny.
Killer Yogurts.
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the?
What'd you say?
I said, I'm sorry, but this is funny.
How is this funny? That's nasty.
No, because milk doesn't require any animals. So it just does, like, the ad itself does not make sense.
Okay, yeah, I got you on that. But they're trying to be as brutal as possible to show you the type of that you are. You're aiding and abetting.
So silly.
Eva, who made the ad, Juliet Galatly. Well, Juliet, I've got to be honest, that's one of the most disgusting things I think I've ever had to watch. It's also one of the most disingenuous. It's a yogurt, for goodness sake.
Exactly. It's extremely disingenuous. Come on now. You're pushing it a little bit, for real.
Absolutely.
Why are you making ads like that about a yogurt?
I'm sorry, I don't believe that that's the most disgusting thing in your editorial career that you've
Pretty
ever
much
seen.
one of them.
No,
I've got to be honest.
I'm sorry, it's a pantomime style. It's obviously a parody. It's obviously fake blood. You know, over 3 million people saw it.
Well, what's your point?
The point is, we went into and investigated dairy farming and blew apart the notion that these animals are in idyll. One in 5 of the animals, and supplying people like that, were zero graze. This means they never saw a blade of grass. And I went,
okay, so at first they was blurring it out.
Now they don't care. It's so nasty. Yogurt doesn't require killing anything, though.
Obviously it does if they're showing it. Why would they show it if it doesn't require anything? What's the point of them showing it if it don't require you anything?
Okay, but if that's the case, if this is the path that this lady wants to go down, why doesn't she talk about how many animals are killed by one person going vegan?
Oh man, how many animals are killed by one person going vegan? And I'm guessing that number is huge. Oh my God. See, I told you you're a genius. You're a genius.
myself to check this out, and they're in filthy conditions. The male calves taken away and shot or knifed in the throat because they don't produce milk. The mothers, when their milk production went down. So there's a lot of death in the dairy.
Let me ask you this. What do you think happens in the wild? How do you think animals eat?
Oh, she's just looking like... why would you ask me that? It's just that adults aren't involved. We're allowing them to take care of them. The ecosystem will do what it does. I don't care about... Do vegans care about what other animals do to animals in the wild?
Vegan friends that I've had say they are omnivores. So not omnivores, they're carnivores, but there are omnivore animals, but like us, where because we have the consciousness to think about it and understand it, we have an obligation to choose to not eat other animals. Whereas something that has a reptilian brain, say, those like lizards that eat insects and fruits, they're like, their brains aren't developed enough to know the difference and to be consciously making that decision.
So
sounds reasons to me. I mean, I don't buy into that.
I don't either, because we simply just defined a thing and are forcing ourselves to go by a rule that we made up. Now, does it make sense? Will it help us be more healthy by not putting unknown diseases potentially into our bodies? Because just like humans go through things, pets, animals go through things too internally that's not always caught by these manufacturers who clean them out and package them for human consumption. So at the end of the day, I mean, there's some benefits to being vegan, but it's just another rule that we brought onto ourselves, and we're trying to make people feel bad for not buying into our ideology. Again, is another one of those bully tactics that she's trying to use.
Yeah, and it's the way that I think about it is it's evolution, survival of the fittest.
Survival of the fit. Only the strong survive.
Exactly. And if you're not strong, our brain is strong, the strongest brain in the animal kingdom on earth. So when it comes to, have you seen those videos of like those chimps that are learning how to use tools?
Yes.
Like they'll use sticks to get the maggots out of tree bark, and they've created some sort of like spear where they're using it for fishing. And now I think, who are the people that study wild animals? Those people are saying that chimps are now in like their equivalent of a stone age. And
because
if
their
they
brains developed or something to that point.
yeah, where now they're starting to use tools to survive. It's not just
See that right there is something again I buck at, because they're learning to use our tools. It's not like they weren't using their own tools before. They was always using their tools. How does birds build these nests? They're using their own tools. How do these ants do so much work, and they're the smallest little things in the world, but they make sure that they come together and they take care of tasks that even adults don't even have the capacity to do. It's weird that they get extra credit and we try to tie them into, oh, they're closer to human, so we might want to go ahead and put them in another, they're prehistoric humans now from the whole evolution thing. I'm not saying that that's not true. I'm not saying that that's not true. I'm just saying that we continue to try to move the goalposts based off of, now it's an animal being able to use our tools, an animal being able to use our computers, use our telephones, communicate with us. We already got every single animal in the world communicating with us. Like we're like, there are millionaires and there are 100 millionaires out there who train dogs. And it's crazy that like we have a control issue. Like we're so narcissistic. We want to control every single thing, every single narrative. And then when we find a better way to take care of our bodies, like becoming a vegan, we want to push it on everybody else because we think we know more than the other people. Like you said, them jerks who will be at a party, who are vegans, and they will walk up to the people who eat meat and say, do you know that just now had teeth and 2 babies and their mom is missing? Like, what?
What species are you talking
Well,
about?
you're very concerned about the protection of animals, but if you go to the African bush, animals eat each other all day long in the most savage, primeval way. Why aren't you campaigning about that?
Yeah,
Why don't you go and protect animals from other animals?
Yeah, listen, my degree is zoology. I know quite a lot about animals, and
So you see
are
the
not.
scenes
And they're
on my
not,
TikTok feed.
Piers,
all I see all day are
Piers,
lions destroying gazelles'
Come
heads.
on, they're not. Which is a bit more gory than that. They're not.
It's
factory
real life.
Farmed. They're not factory farmed. These animals never see sunlight. They never graze a blade of grass. It's obscene. I don't think even you would agree with that.
Well, my problem with vegans is this. I mean, I bet you probably like almonds, do you?
Oh no, you're not going to do the almond avocado with me. No,
Just
this is
asking
boring.
you, do
No,
you
this,
eat?
This is boring.
It
No.
may be boring.
This is
I actually
boring.
find the vegan assault on meat eaters boring. So, do you eat avocados and almonds?
I'm not assaulting.
Do you eat them?
Anybody?
Do you eat them? Yes or no? Do you eat avocados and almonds? I don't
Can
even
I
know what
just
the
say
punchline
one
is.
thing?
Sure, absolutely.
Well, okay. In all honesty, yes, of course, I would prefer all the animals that I consume to be brought up living a good life before they are slaughtered for my consumption. I think every decent person would want that. But
See-
realistically, to feed 7 billion people, that's not happening.
But here's the thing. What about the people who like to hunt? You don't know if those deer that you're out there shooting during the hunting season have been taken care of a certain type of way, but you love eating venison, so you're out there hunting deer,
Yeah,
hunting
I know,
duck.
but there's a difference between them all being like 1,000 chickens in one little
True.
confined area where they don't see the sun or anything, versus venison that's had a rough go about it in the
That's true.
forest.
That's true. That's absolutely. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
You eat them.
I eat them from Spain.
So you do.
I
You
eat
eat
them from
avocados and
Spain,
almonds.
because the issues that you talk
And
about
do you drink?
about the
What
bees,
kind of milk do you drink?
You're talking about the milk.
Milk do you drink?
You talk about soya.
Soya. Okay.
Yeah.
So
you talk about the milk of bees in other interviews.
yes, because
but you
vegans don't care.
But you don't care about the billions
No.
of calves and
No.
chicks and piglets. That
I
are killed.
understand.
So you're a complete hypocrite.
No, I'm not.
You are, Piers.
No, the hypocrites are the vegans
No,
who
they're
munch
not.
away on almonds and their avocados and
No.
stuff. They don't give a damn about billions of bees getting annihilated.
That's
It's the
absolute
bees are the
rubbish.
little guys. And I had this
rubbish.
conversation.
Okay. For clarity. Okay. How is our bees being annihilated having to do with avocados and
Almonds?
and almonds? I'm sure you know the breakdown. I don't know.
I don't know the exact thing, but from what I know is I don't think that avocado trees and almonds have the type of flowers that bees pollinate. They're not involved in the
Okay.
cycle of their lives. And
Okay.
in order to have you seen avocado trees before?
Well, I have not.
They're huge. They are big. Like think about like the trees in the Amazon. They're giant. And giant trees have giant roots and require much more land to grow.
Oh wow.
So if you want to have an avocado farm, you are destroying everything on a huge plot of land just to have your avocados. And that means the gophers that are in the dirt, the squirrels that might feed on the avocados,
Right.
the insects that could disrupt the
Wow.
cycle of the fruits, and not the cycle of the fruits, but like the fruits development.
So every single being that would benefit off of having trees in that space won't benefit because these elitists want to eat their almonds and avocados.
That's not even taking into consideration like the smaller stuff like lizards or snakes and all the whole ecosystem in that natural habitat that now has to be destroyed to plant the avocado trees or the almond trees or the lettuce and whatever.
Well, I mean, but okay, let me challenge you on this. Wouldn't we be the same hypocrites? I mean, unless you're living in a house, if you're not living in a house that was once land that once had grass and dirt and trees and whatnot before developers moved in and started ripping away so that they can put people in their nice communities where now is a street. 100 years ago was not. It was where insects and snakes and lizards and squirrels and chipmunks and every single thing of the kind existed in our spaces where we now dwell comfortably with our feet up. And we got little backyards that got the nice little grass and the fences that clearly was not there 100 years ago. So aren't we all just hypocrites? I mean, if we think about it that way.
I can see where you're coming from, but I'm gonna counter your counter. Imagine if every single person on the planet wanted to live in a house versus people that are okay with living in a apartment building or a condo.
Right.
What's more detrimental? If every single person wants a house.
If everybody wants a house, if everyone wants a house, is more detrimental.
Now, the reason that I'm drawing that comparison is because it relates to the example that you used. But beyond that, have you seen the pictures in like school where they said, like, if you have this much meat, you're getting all your nutrients and whatever for that day. But to get the same, there's pictures on it. If you want, we can look it up later. But one burger can fill most of your nutrient requirements, but to have the same equivalent of that in just vegetable form, it's going to be like 20 salads worth that you're going to have to eat and consume.
Oh, and in order for that to happen for just one person, it had to be a huge tree to have been built in order to get those type of food just for that one person.
Think about the variety.
See, that's the thing about vegans. Vegans are elitist. Y'all and they try tried to hide under being the most minimalistic eaters in the world, and all they want to eat is the whatever the soil of the earths, I guess, where you're not hurting any animals, insects, or anything else like that. But we're always going to be hurting insects, always. As soon as you stick that garden hoe into the ground to plant your soil, you know how many daggone worms you didn't good or
Everything in life is a trade-off, and if you're willing to, is not how am I going to feed my children, how am I going to feed my family, but it's everybody should live as I do and be not everyone has the privilege of living a vegan lifestyle, even if they wanted to.
Yeah.
In some parts of the world, that's just not an option. So it's really disconnected for people of that level of elitism to just assume that it's as simple for everyone else, someone
Right.
that's living paycheck to paycheck, to live their vegan lifestyle. That's just
No, you're absolutely spot on, especially people
privilege.
in rundown communities and cities, and urban communities as well, where they have a bunch of food graveyards. Like they don't have grocery stores. And yes, it comes down to sometimes if it's heavy looting or heavy robberies or anything of violence, crime in those areas where they're running in stores and just taking whatever they want, and the stores are losing a whole bunch of money. They just close down and they stop putting certain stores there. So the quality of the lettuce and tomatoes and everything that just goes through the regular stores are lesser than those in the higher up type of communities that you have most vegans who have the luxury of being able to find every single thing that they're looking for, and and be able to live that life comfortably, whereas other people don't have that privilege, as you said. So it is an elitist thing.
It definitely is. And just further beyond that, not even talking about urban cities in the US, if you look at developing countries where they don't even have a grocery store
At all.
in 5 towns down,
Wow.
what are they supposed to do?
So you forced me to think about international. America first. God bless America and no one else. I'm just playing. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. Yeah, you're right. It gets bigger.
But in
It gets
the
worse.
US, in our cities, the poorer the neighborhood is, the more fast food chains you're gonna see. And that's a big problem.
Yeah, you're right. Yes, it's going to be you're going to see the most fast food places. You're going to see the most liquor stores, and you're going to see the most churches. Real.
Because that's the hypocrisy. I don't care.
You're obsessed with this because you think it catches
I am
vegans
a
out.
proud
Listen,
and happy meat
Piers,
and yogurt eater.
we're in the
But when you
sixth-
try and make out this yogurt is the most evil thing that anyone can eat in
Piers.
the world, I think you're bonkers,
Piers,
Juliet.
we're in the
think you're
6th mass
bonkers.
extinction. We're living it now. You're behaving like a news anchor on
I'm in
Don't Look
the
Up.
I'm in the what?
You're behaving like a news anchor on
What
the film
extinction?
Don't Look Up.
What
We're in the
extinction?
6th mass extinction. You're deflecting all the time from
The
the
world
real
is not
issues.
going to end
You
because
are trying to deflect
because I eat
from
a
the
Muller
fact
yogurt. Look,
that
what?
animals are factory farmed. You're trying to deflect from the fact
world's still
that
here.
veganism protects.
The world's not going to end.
The world's still here. There's milk in my Starbucks right now. Is the world gonna end right now?
Yes. Yes. And is ending one avocado at a time. How about that? You're in the world right now. You and Piers Morgan are some jerks.
Simultaneously. Yeah.
It's the
Juliet,
environment.
we're still here.
We are, but
Nobody's
how long
extinct.
have
Julia,
we
we're still
got?
here.
You've got kids. You must care about the climate
Nobody's
crisis.
I let my kids eat meat. I let them eat yogurt. And you know what? I don't think it's evil.
You must care about the climate crisis, and you must be aware that the University of Oxford has specifically stated that a vegan diet, it protects the
Really?
environment.
But you just
it
said you-
reduces
A vegan diet protects the environment. So she's about to really
I know,
debunk
Mike, did I
every
hear that
single thing
right?
you said. She's about to debunk everything you just said. So hopefully you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right.
You must be aware that the University of Oxford has specifically
University of
stated
Oxford.
that a vegan diet, it protects the
Really?
environment.
But you just
it
said
reduces
you just said
greenhouse
you eat your
gases.
you said
It
you got your
really- it-
almonds or avocados from Spain. Which one?
from Spain.
Which one? Both.
I don't eat almonds.
How do they
actually.
get here?
Avocados.
How do they get here?
Boat.
boat. Really? You sure?
Yes, I am sure.
You sure?
I am absolutely sure.
Really? And how do you think most vegans get most of their almonds and avocados from California?
And how do you
Boat?
think most
No, they don't.
meat eaters get their
No, they don't. They don't get them from a boat. They get
How
them
do you
on
think
planes.
meat eaters get their
And they get them on
avocados?
planes which guzzle up the environment.
Do you eat avocados?
Yes.
But you care about all these millions of bees being
No,
killed.
I care about your hypocrisy about the little guys.
Rubbish.
I do.
Most bees are killed because of overuse of pesticides. Most overuse
Not
of
true.
pesticides
Not true.
is due to the way that
It's
the
in the
land
pollen.
is farmed
In the pollen.
to
No,
grow
that is not
fodder
true.
for farmed animals.
That is not
So
true.
you're talking
Most of the
rubbish.
bees get the pollination
talking
process.
rubbish.
And by the way, after they get, you vegans get all your almonds and avocados flown over on these gas-guzzling planes. And my point is, I like to fly. I like to eat meat. I like to eat yogurts. I'm just fed up with vegans trying to shame me for it when you're all such hypocrites when it comes to the bees.
Well, but he did not allow her to start breaking down the benefits to the world. I really wanted to hear that. I thought she was really about to
I
bring
can
it.
give you one.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
U.S. obesity issue would definitely be less.
Which issue?
U.S. obesity.
Oh yeah, that would be better. Absolutely, I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah, absolutely. But that's expensive. Like it's
is.
expensive as hell. So, but most people can't afford to live that lifestyle. So, if they're living that lifestyle, someone has to pay for it. And even still, whoever's paying for it are not going to be paying for no daggone vegan diet. No, nope, at all. That's an expensive lifestyle. At first, I'm sure you figure out how to, make it work for your budget and all that other stuff once you become extremely educated on it. But before then, oh man, people are going to be spending out their pockets and still not going to be full.
It's a boring lifestyle, and the reason that vegans always try to preach it to everyone else is because they're trying to convince themselves that they're happy with their lives eating nothing but celery and carrots.
You don't believe them?
I was a vegan before. I know how miserable the lifestyle is. I was not a vegan by choice. It was a fast that I did for I don't know if you do this, but Armenians, we fast for 40 days before Easter. And I was doing that. And
Okay.
I just carried it on even after Easter.
So when fasting consisted of what?
You have to give something up. I think it's
So
like
you gave up meat.
I gave up meat and all animal products
Oh my God.
for 40 days. And then after Easter, I continued it for another 3 months until I went to my doctor, and he's like, all of your vitamins are shot. He's like,
Man.
your vitamin B12, he's like, if it dips any lower, he's like, you're going to get tingling in your feet and you might go paralyzed. And I'm like, oh,
What?
okay. Yeah. Vitamin B12 is very, very important for nerve function. And if you don't have it,
God.
and if you're severely deficient in it, you're going to get, those like your hand falls asleep or your foot falls asleep, that like tingling feeling.
Yeah.
And then if it keeps dropping after that, you can actually get paralyzed.
Damn.
From what my doctor told me, I mean, I don't
Get
know.
out of here. That's scary. That's B12?
B12, yeah.
Thanks a lot for that. I appreciate that. Scaring the hell out of brother. Oh, for real. That's crazy.
No, you're not. You're against factory farming. If you went inside the farms that I've been inside, and the reason that I set up Viva, the state of the animals that I've seen them in, pigs,
Julia,
dying in front of me.
If this makes
you
me
would
evil,
not- you would
if this
not
makes
agree
me
with it.
evil, I am happy to be evil.
It's disgusting.
It's delicious.
But eat vegan-
Julia Galadley,
eat
lovely to
vegan
see you.
yogurt.
That's it from me.
Oh my
Whatever you're up
God.
to,
It's delicious.
keep it creamy.
Keep it creamy. That was brilliant. That was absolutely amazing.